Hi everyone, I'm Geraldine Pitschke and welcome to Aging While in Georgina. Our topic today is hair loss. And we have a really special guest today. Her name is Heather Scott, and Heather actually has her own business, and it's called Pretty Wigs To You. So Heather's going to talk about hair loss, and she's going to talk about her business and the different types of wigs that you can purchase. And so let me introduce you to Heather Scott. Hi, Heather. Welcome, and thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. It is my pleasure to be here today with you.
And you know, this is as I mentioned to you before, like this is a topic to me that is of really big interest. I've always wanted to know more about wigs. I see that a lot of people are wearing wigs today for a variety of reasons. So I'm really interested in learning more about your experience, especially around the hair loss piece. And so did you want to just tell us a little bit about what motivated you to start Pretty Wigs To You?
Yes. So I've actually been dealing with hair loss most of my life. When I was just 3 years old, I was diagnosed with a condition called alopecia. And what that means is hair loss in different forms on the body, mostly on the scalp. So when I was just 3 years old, it started out with just a coin-size bald spot on the top of my head. And then throughout my childhood, the hair would grow back in and fall back out in different spots all over my head, and there's no real treatment and there's no real known cause as to why people get alopecia. So as the years went on, my hair loss progressed to where I had total hair loss on my scalp. So that's kind of where my business background came from, is when I was out there looking, especially in our community, I couldn't find any local wig shops or anyone who specialized in medical hair loss. So that is where my business got started, out of a need of something I've gone through my whole life and the need and desire to help others feel confident and to help them feel beautiful with their hair loss. So like I said, I don't have any hair whatsoever, so I'm going to remove my wig. So this is very typical of somebody who has alopecia. Again, sometimes it starts in little spots, but someone can go from having a full head of hair to having no hair like myself within just a few weeks. So it can be very traumatizing, oftentimes very scary when people don't understand what's happening, why it's happening to them. It's an autoimmune condition, and your cells attack your hair follicles. So your cells inside your body think that your hair follicles are foreign and they destroy them from growing. So that's kind of the science behind alopecia. And a lot of people like myself, I don't have any eyebrows or any eyelashes either. I have makeup on now, so it kind of camouflages it. But it's very common not to have any hair or eyelashes or eyebrows whatsoever. Now, there's different forms of hair loss. There's not just alopecia. There are other things. Most people know about chemotherapy, that you can lose your hair from chemotherapy treatments. There's also something called trichotillomania. And this is a condition that many of you probably have never heard of, but it is a mental health condition where somebody will pluck their hairs out of their scalp or out of their eyebrows, and it's kind of like a stress reliever. And it's just something they do, like somebody would bite their fingernails. Instead, they pull out their hair, and it's kind of like a release to them. And a lot of people are not talking about this. It's something that they do in private. They don't know who to talk to or who to turn to. And oftentimes they're embarrassed that they've pulled their hair out and now they need to resort to a wig or a topper or something to camouflage the hair loss. So there's many different forms of hair loss out there. It's not a one fits all sort of thing. And I'm really happy that I can be an advocate for anyone that's struggling with hair loss. So I have a big presence online, and I advocate a lot for children with hair loss because I was a child with hair loss. So it's something that's very important to me. It's I'm very open about it, and I encourage anyone who is struggling with their self-confidence or with their hair loss to reach out to me. And then there's those people who are just aging, and naturally your hair starts to thin as you get older. I have a lot of clients who are in that situation where they're just their hair is starting to thin out on the top, and they just want a solution to help them boost their confidence. So I service a lot of different types of hair loss, but that's just an overview of my story with alopecia. And maybe you've seen somebody out in our community and, you know, they're missing a big chunk of hair, and maybe you don't want to approach them. And now you know what that possibly could be, or maybe they have total hair loss, and it doesn't always mean that they have cancer or that they've gone through treatment. It could be something completely different.
And I think that that's really interesting, that there are a variety of reasons why people might, you know, have suffer from hair loss. You talked about going through chemo, especially a lot of people losing their hair, and then they, you know, there's the program. I think it's Look Beautiful. You know, there's a few programs
Yes.
like that. But you had said that you actually work with the hospital, like South Lake. You do actually go to South Lake, and you do work with people who are experiencing hair loss because of chemo and different cancer treatments.
Yes, that is correct. So my office is actually located right across the street from South Lake Hospital, right across from the emergency department. So it's very easy for clients to just come in and visit me. Maybe they've just had a treatment, or they're going to come in before treatment and they want to look at some options. Some people will come in before they start the chemotherapy. So maybe their oncologist will tell them that the type of chemotherapy that they're getting will make their hair fall out. So just be prepared that you will need to wear a wig if you choose to, and to start looking for something now before the chemotherapy starts. So I have a lot of people who come into my office in preparation of them losing their hair, and I'll go through different options with them, different lengths and different colors, and there's something for everybody. I also have a ton of donation wigs that I have that I will donate for free to anyone who maybe cannot afford a wig, and they need something just to, you know, they want to go to work and not stand out, so they want to, you know, conceal their hair loss. So I often always have a collection of donation wigs here that I give to any of my cancer patients. So yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Heather, that you look beautiful with or without your wig.
Thank you.
You look beautiful, and I'm looking at you have your wig right now, and
Yes.
it's a beautiful wig. It looks really,
Thank
really
you.
nice. That's gorgeous,
Thank
and I can
you.
see that you can do different things with it. So it's very, very natural.
Yeah,
Lovely.
it looks just like my own hair would be growing out of my scalp. I only sell high quality wigs and toppers that I personally would wear.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone through this so long throughout my life that I've kind of weeded in and out of the nice looking wigs and the ones that don't look so nice. And I've kind of managed to work with those companies that offer the best quality for the most reasonable price. So that's something that there's human hair wigs and there's synthetic wigs, but I always make sure to have the best looking synthetic wigs for everyone's budget, and that looks natural and not like a traditional wig would.
And, you know, it's interesting because so a lot of people I think are really interested in wearing a wig, because I did actually go on YouTube and I was looking at a lot of different videos, and I was surprised to see how many young people, as you say, like yours started when you were very young, a lot of young people who are suffering from a variety of hair loss. And so for them to be able to connect with somebody who can tell them, yeah, you know, this is a really good wig and the comfortable. And we make such a big deal about our hair, don't we? That it's got to be traumatic if you start to lose your hair.
Yes. And a lot of, especially on social media, a lot of women, when they start to lose their hair from various reasons, a lot of them, they don't even want to look at themselves in the mirror, or they don't know who to talk to. They feel that most of their friends won't understand what's actually happening to them. So I always encourage people, reach out on social media. There's so many hair loss accounts on Facebook and Instagram. Women have accounts dedicated just to their hair loss journeys, and you don't have to use your real name. You can have a private account and you can see what other people are doing, and that way nobody will know that it's you, and you're able to get that support you need without broadcasting it to the world type thing. So there's always ways to reach out and get support from people online.
And especially aging, you mentioned as well. So, we want to age well, and we want to look good, and we want to feel good. And so there is that female balding as well, right? And so the thinning of the hair, and I do see, I have some friends and they have some thinning of their hair. And, it is a struggle for them. And so being able to connect with somebody that's local. Yeah. And, and the other thing is having it affordable. Having it affordable is a big deal.
Exactly. And for most women that just have thinning hair, they don't need to wear a full wig. There's things called toppers that are just these little tiny bits of hair that go on the top of your head, and it blends in with your biological hair, and it just gives you that coverage. So if you have some gray hair or thinning hair at the top, a little topper like this, it's a huge confidence booster, and you don't feel naked on the top. And this just blends in beautifully with your hair, and it's very natural looking. And sometimes that's all it takes, is just a little something to boost your confidence. Or sometimes ladies just want it to take nice pictures with their families and their grandchildren, and they just want something nice to put on, and they may not want to wear it every single day, but just when it's a special occasion, they'll want to put on their hair topper. And then there's those who will wear a hair topper every single day, and they come in gray colors as well. So they come in lots, every single color available, they come in. So the wig industry and the hair loss industry has really opened up, especially to the older generation. They've now come out with all different types of shades of gray, because gray is now very popular. Even young girls are, coloring their hair a gray color, and they'll come in looking for gray wigs. So the wig industry has really stepped it up and come out with beautiful, natural looking grays and blends to match everybody's hair.
It's so true. I mean, some of the wigs are absolutely beautiful. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come right back with you, Heather, and we'll talk some more about hair loss and wigs. Thank you.
Great.
Everyone, I'm Geraldine Pitschke, and welcome back to Aging Well in Georgina. My guest today is Heather Scott. Heather has her own business called Pretty Wigs To You, and this business actually provides wigs for people who are suffering from hair loss. And so Heather is sharing her information today around hair loss, and this is her business is actually in Georgina, but she does serve all over. She has an online store. So welcome again, Heather, and thank you for being here today. We talked before the break about the different types of hair pieces, because for a lot of people, they may not want the full wig, as you had talked about. Do you want to share a little bit around that?
Yeah, so there's two different types of fibers for wigs. So there is human hair, human hair is donated by a human who has cut their hair, and it's then sewn into a wig, and you can style it like your own hair. So you can blow dry it, you can straighten it, you can use a curling iron, and you can treat it as if it was your own hair. Now, there's also a more affordable option called synthetic. So synthetic fibers are made by the wig manufacturers. Sometimes they'll have a wave in them, sometimes they'll be straightened. And those are the types of fibers that you can't really use heat on, but they're very easy to wear because you don't have to style them. So anytime you wash them, they'll come back with that curl. So for someone that doesn't want to spend a lot of time playing with their wig or their topper, a synthetic is a much more affordable and an easier way to go. So I'll show you a few different examples. So this one here is one of our beautiful human hair pieces. They make these very realistic looking. They come with a natural root in them. They come in every possible color you can imagine. And I'll show you just the inside of the cap just so you can see. This is called a hand-tied cap. It's the most comfortable cap that you can wear. And it comes with something called a lace front. And a lace front gives that appearance of a natural hairline. So it's not like the old-fashioned wigs that looked like a wig. You can't even tell that these are wigs once they're on. When I tell people that I'm wearing a wig, they don't believe me. So I take that as a compliment. And then there's fibers that are synthetic that look just as good as the human hair. You wouldn't even be able to tell. Sometimes the feel of it, the human hair feels a little softer than synthetic, but I usually find the colors of the synthetic to be more vibrant and very nice, and they are much more affordable. So a synthetic piece can sometimes run between $100 to $300, whereas the really good quality human hair pieces can cost up to $1,000. So there's a big price range there. And anyone starting out with hair loss, I always suggest a synthetic piece first until they really know what they need and what they want in a hair piece. So those are just some different fiber options out there. And there are a couple synthetic fibers that are heat resistant. So they would tell you right on the card if you're able to use a low heat on them. So that's kind of in between a human hair and a synthetic. It's called a heat defiant wig or topper.
Mm-hmm. There's like you mentioned, it's so true. I mean, we kind of sometimes, if you're not familiar with wigs, then you might think, oh, my grandma used to wear a wig. And of course, it looked like a wig.
Yes.
It looked like, but of course, we've come a long way. And I think a lot of people are wearing wigs anyway, whether they don't have hair loss. I know you mentioned before the children. You know, you're very passionate about helping children who are suffering from hair loss. Can you tell us a little bit about a program that you have?
Yes. So children hold such a soft spot in my heart because I was a child with hair loss. I have 3 young children of my own, and as of right now, none of them have alopecia, but I'm fully prepared to deal with that if that comes down the road. But I have a special program called the Helper Hair Box. Now, this is it is a subscription box for women and children with hair loss. So it goes out monthly, but the way I give back to the community is I donate these boxes to any child going through any form of hair loss. And it's filled with inspirational books. It's filled with headscarves or hats, things to make them feel beautiful and confident about their hair loss. And so that's for every 6 boxes sold, I donate one to a child. So if there's somebody in our community that you know that's a child going through any form of hair loss, please reach out to me and I'll make sure to get them a Helper Hair Box. And then also part of this program is for every 12 boxes that I sell, I donate a child's wig. So this is anywhere in North America. If there's a child who is in need of a wig, they would fill out a form on my website and we will talk to the parents about what style and what color, and we'll get them their free wig. So again, if there's anybody that you know in our community here in Georgina that is a child with hair loss, please reach out to me and I will make sure to get them a free wig. And you know, it's something that I wish I had as a child. And that is one of the reasons why I created this Helper Hair Box. It's just a special box that comes in the mail and it's filled with things just for the child with hair loss. So it's something that somebody else understands what I'm going through. It's a community of other children just like me who may not have their hair, and it's things that will help inspire them and make them feel confident to maybe go out into public without a head covering on, or you know, maybe they'll feel more confident with reading one of the books that are placed inside the box. So it's something that's really near and dear to my heart, and I encourage anyone that knows anybody that is going through hair loss to please reach out to me and we'll make sure we take care of those children.
That is so beautiful and so generous. And, there
Yeah.
are a lot of children, of course, who are
Yes.
going through, various sicknesses where hair loss is involved. So that's
Yes.
really beautiful. I hope that people get in touch with you about that.
Yes.
The other thing that you talked about, Heather, just to recap a little, you talked about, so if I'm going through a treatment and I'm suffering from hair loss now, and then I have a wig, and maybe I'm wearing the wig for a year or two, my own
Mhm.
hair grows back. And then if I want to donate that wig, maybe I'm not wearing my wig anymore. Can I donate it back to you?
Yes, so I take donation wigs. I will style them and I will wash them and steam them and bring them back to life if they've been worn a little bit. I take them here. I can pick them up from anybody in our community as well. And the Cancer Society also does that as well. They also have a program where they will help people with donated wigs as well. So there's lots of help out there, either from myself or one of the organizations. We're always willing to help others. And if I don't have something that somebody is looking for, then I can put you in contact with somebody that may have what you're looking for. So yes, if you have a wig that you would like to donate, I will gladly take it, wash it, style it, bring it back to life. And there might be somebody else who would love to wear it.
That's really excellent. And I also noticed like you're on Facebook, and I noticed
Yes.
that you put videos. So you have these videos that you put up all the time talking about
Yes.
the different wigs, the different ways to style it, just getting more and more comfortable about wearing wigs. So
Yes.
could you just tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I try and do one video per week. I will go onto my YouTube channel, I'll pick a wig to review that week, and I will go through the cap construction, I will go through the coloring. It's really hard when you're shopping online for wigs. And so a lot of people do because they don't want to talk to anyone about it. They just want to order something online and just have it come to their house secretly, and they don't want to talk about it. So by doing these videos and putting them out there, people get to see what the wig looks like on a real person. They look amazing on a model, but you need to put them on a real person and try them on in different face shapes and different body types. The hair looks different. So I try and do that at least once a week to review a different wig, a different color, a different style, just so people can see what's out there, what's available, and what it looks like on a real person.
Yeah, the videos are actually really, really, really helpful. They're really good. I watched a few of them, and the beauty of that then is that once you go into Facebook and look up Heather Scott, Pretty Wigs to You, it's very easy to find your page. So, and then I see the videos, and they're really great. And the nice thing is that then there's a group. There you have quite a following, and so there's other people. And then I guess if you have a question, or if you're looking to get some support, you can always send you a message.
Yes, and if there's a teenager out there who's going through something, I have a whole contact list of other teenagers that I can connect you with. And so you're not going through this alone. So I have a lot of contacts out there in different age groups, and I try and match these people up so they have somebody to talk to either online or over FaceTime, and they can talk about their struggles and what they're going through, and bullying at school and things like that. So reach out to me. I have tons of resources for anybody going through any type of hair loss at any age. So
Yeah,
I hope, yeah.
I hope they do. I hope they do. As I said, you're very, very easy to find. You're very approachable. You have lots and lots of information, which is really great. I personally would like to have one of those wigs. Unfortunately, I don't have hair loss, but the wigs are so beautiful. And you do, like, your video really shows how, like, I think people are worried, like, if I'm outside and I'm wearing a wig, will it fall off? Is it going to slip? There's so many questions when you're not familiar. But I think that, with the right wig and with the right support, people look so beautiful. And when you're
They do.
already not well and you're already going through so much more in your life, it's nice to know that you have some control, and that you can purchase a really nice wig that suits you. And really, nobody can tell that you're wearing this wig. They're beautiful. They're so beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. And there's tons of people out there who don't have hair loss and they just want to have really nice looking hair. So they'll purchase a wig so they don't have to worry about dealing with their own biological hair. And you would never be able to tell they're wearing a wig. You would just think they have really nice hair all the time, and really nobody knows. So yeah,
it's really beautiful. The wigs are really beautiful. You have some really gorgeous wigs that you're showing. So is there anything, just before I know we're going to wrap up soon, but is there anything else that you would like to share just in the next few minutes, just so that people know? Because this was great information today, Heather.
I'm glad I could share my story, and I'm glad I could take my wig off and show people what alopecia really is. And I'm just happy to be able to share my experience and to help others going through this. There's a great organization here in King City, actually not too far from us, and it's called the Canadian National Alopecia Areata Foundation. So you can just Google them, and they have a really great foundation. They do Zoom calls, they do information sessions, and they break it out into children.
I do have to interrupt you, Heather. I'm really sorry, but we're just running out of time.
Okay.
Hopefully we can have you on again on the show, because there is so much to share. So for everybody who joined us today, I hope this was really interesting for you. It was interesting for me, and we hope to see you again on Aging Well in Georgina. Bye for now.
Bye.